father lived as a woodcutter, cutting down tree trunks and branches for furniture and fuel.
But one terrible day, the father had an accident in the forest and died.
The boy and his mother wept, as his father was buried in a coffin.
Nailed together from wood who could not himself.
They grieved for 2 winters. But when spring came again, the boy's mother met a new man and married him.
When his mother and stepfather returned home from their honeymoon, the boy was waiting for them.
His mother ran to him and kissed him, but his stepfather looked straight through him as though he wasn't there.
When bedtime came, the boy kissed his mother goodnight. When he turned to do the same to his stepfather, the man ignored him.
The boy climbed the stairs and lay on his narrow bed.
Moon stooped and stared at him through the window with his old, scarred face.
The boy looked out at the forest where his father had died. Where older,
Ash,
aspen, willow,
Beech,
cherry, poplar,
Oak,
Birch,
hawthorn,
Hazel,
juniper, lime,
clover,
pine, elm.
apple, and yew.
But his sorrow had hardened now, and his tears were like small glass stones in his eyes. The boy slept late, and when he came down to breakfast, his mother had already left to collect nuts in the forest.
His stepfather was at the kitchen table writing letters, and he barely glanced at him when,
He sat down with his milk and his bread rolling. The boy ate in silence, conscious of the small slurps he made as he drank.
the air around his stepfather was dark and heavy, though he made his own weather.
He was a handsome man, unsmiling and strong, with hairs on the back of his hands.
The man looked, and the boy jumped, worried that he'd been caught staring.
but his stepfather said nothing, so he opened up the door and left, banging it shut behind him.
The boy went to the mirror and stared at his pale, thin face. A sunny day came, and the boy knew there was to be a trip to the travelling fair that was on in the big town. The boy washed himself and got dressed in his favourite clothes.
but when he got downstairs, he saw that his mother had been crying.
His stepfather walked straight past him and went to wait for his wife by the gate.
The mother couldn't look at a boy in the eyes.
She pressed some coins into his palm and told him he wasn't to go to the fair, he was to stay behind.
They were to be back late, and he was to be in bed when they returned. The boy shouted at her and threw the coins at her feet, but she shook her head and went to join her husband. The boy ran to the woods. Dusk came and the forest sulked and darkened. The boy grew cold. He walked back along the path, passing the stumps of trees cut down by his dead father.
There was no one at home. He went to bed.
Hours later, the noise of his mother and stepfather returning woke him.
He saw them go past on their way to the bedroom.
But they did not look in at him. The days and weeks and months went by.
Until spring, summer, and autumn had gone, and it was winter again.
The boy walked around the house like a ghost. If ever his thoughts from his eyes, she looked away. The boy went to the mirror again. But when he glanced there, you could only see the reflection of the kitchen. He leaned closer to the mirror and breathed, but the glass stayed as clear and bright as before. The boy touched the mirror, and although he could feel the corners of the mirror, he could see nothing of himself.
Terrified, he ran to the sitting room where his mother and stepfather sat.
In her arms, his mother held a new baby, wrapped carefully in a soft white blanket. He called his mother's name, but she bent low over the baby's head and made sure it would sound.
His stepfather stood up and walked towards him, tall and brooding.
The boy backed away, and the man shut the door in his face.
And now the boy was truly invisible. The boy had grown, and his clothes were tight-fitting or too short. Since no one could see him, he put on an old t-shirt and a pair of soft brown cords of his father's and went about in that.
He left home in the morning and went into the forest. In the evening, he returned home.
Sometimes the boy would sit at the side of the baby's crib and looked at his half-brother, but he knew the child could not see him.
If he ever met his mother's eyes, she busied herself. So his stepfather, who was less than a shadow on the stairs.
At night, he lay alone in his bed, hearing his mother cry and the man shout. Time passed. One day, as the boy walked in the woods, he was tall and broad-shouldered now.
Saw a girl sitting in the branch of his favourite tree.
So used he was to being invisible that he stopped and stared at her. The girl turned her bright hazel eyes on his and laughed at him.
So he turned and ran away into the forest.
But the girl jumped down from the tree and chased him. She caught up with him, grabbed him by the shirt's tail and kissed him. The next morning, the boy climbed into the attic and got the chest that contained his dead father's things.
He put on trousers, a clean linen shirt, and a jacket that still held the scent of wood shavings as pie.
When he got downstairs, he saw that his mother was preparing breakfast.
She stared at him, and tears scalded his eyes, and he knew that she saw him. But the girl from the woods was waiting for him by the gate, and he went out to meet her.
He came home late, and the light of stars had taken years to arrive, and went to his bed.
In the morning, he went out with the girl again, and he felt his mother's eyes drink him in as she watched him go.
After a month and a day of this, he arrived home to find his stepfather in the kitchen. He shouted at him that he needn't come and go as he pleased. With a shock, he realised that the man was looking at him, but he pushed his stepfather easily away and went up to bed.
As he lay there, he heard the man's yells and his mother's wails.
The next day, he woke early and for the first time made breakfast for his mother and her child and himself.
His stepfather came in, but the boy did not look at him, and eventually the man went awkwardly away.
The boy brought the girl home and he cooked for them all so that she could meet his mother and her child.
Stepfather came in again, but the boy ignored them.
Every morning, the boy woke and prepared breakfast, and every night he came home with the girl and cooked supper.
He worked in the forest now, as his father had done.
When the girl looked at him, she had love in her hazel eyes, like a light. When it shone on him, he grew stronger. There was no more shouting or crying in the house, and the boy treated his stepfather as though he was invisible. One day, the man vanished altogether. It was as though he had never been there at all.
The young man worked hard in the forest to keep food on the table for the family.
The girl took the basket from the mother to collect hazelnuts, chestnuts, and walnuts. They were all very happy, and as his half-brother grew, the young man made sure to watch him ever after with the light of love in his eyes.
Thank you very much for your continual support when